Hello, hello, one and all. How are you all tonight? We have got Metal with us, of course, and with us tonight is Fresher Luke, and we will be going over his Indiegogo for his comic Forsaken Gods comic. So, how is everybody out there watching at the moment? Not that there's a lot of people watching yet. And hello, Dark and Light. I see you there in the chat. So, how are you tonight, Metal?
Oh, I'm doing fine, as usual.
And to our illustrious guest, Fresher Luke, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I am good.
Awesome.
I guess we'll just sort of dive into things. Might have to go over things, 2 or 3 times, or depending on how many people, how fast the chat doesn't fill up.
Sure.
So I guess the first question is, how did you get into comics?
How did I get into comics? I guess I've always been into comics ever since I was a little kid. Yeah.
Any particular book that brought you in, or?
Not any one particular book. I guess it was just one of the major factors was the brothers who are these massive nerds, and they had these long boxes of comics that when they went off to college they left behind. And so, while they were gone, I would sort of go in there and I'd sort of, bored out of my mind, I would start reading these books that they had. And they had a lot of, the old Marvel and DC comics, like the Marv Wolfman and Mark Silvestri runs on Wolverine, and the Jim Lee run on Punisher, and all these other, cool classic comics that we've come to know and love.
Cool. So are you the artist, writer on Forsaken God, or Gods, or what's your role in?
I am the writer, the artist, the creator, the colorist. Yeah, I'm the whole deal for Forsaken Gods. That is correct. Yes.
Oh, another one-man army.
Yeah, sounds like that.
Yeah.
Although I've been getting some help as of recently, so that's good on my part. But yeah, definitely know how you feel like for that. Been there for many years. How did you come up with the idea for Forsaken Gods?
So the way I came up with it was, I guess, many years ago I started drawing Skull Knight, but I didn't really know who or what he was, or what kind of character he was. And so over the years, I kind of just kept drawing him in my sketchbook. And his design kept changing, and the story in my head about who he was started to grow and percolate. And so I started drawing other characters next to him, and then sort of forming stories around them. And from there, I kind of created this world and this concept and this sort of story about sort of who he is and what he's all about. And yeah, I guess it's no one thing where I just kind of like had this bright idea. It was something that kind of grew over time, basically.
Yeah, I can see that. That's sort of what happened with me with my universe. Different ideas, for lack of a better word, evolve into another idea.
Yeah.
And if anybody in the chat has any questions or comments, feel free to ask. Kat R is here and she says, "Hi Luke," and Rick laugh out loud. Well, hello to you too, Kat. Any questions, Metal, or?
Where's the stream?
Not at the moment.
Oh, the stream
once
is
we
done.
Get into the, we get more into the campaign.
Yeah. Okay,
Sure.
maybe we should go do that. Here, let me bring up my browser. There, I have it up. And I think I should be able to play the thing and everybody hear it. Hopefully. We'll find out.
Is it through? What's it through?
My OBS
are you doing it
should
through?
pick OBS. My OBS.
Yeah,
should-
OBS.
Everybody in the chat will be able to hear it.
Hi, it's your boy Fresher Luke. I'm here to tell you about a new book and IP that I'm looking to get off the ground. The project in question is called Forsaken
There it is.
Gods, a 60-page full-color comic book that follows the adventures of an archaeologist named Samara Ankmar and her search in trying to find out what caused a great war between the gods,
Which resulted in the world to be filled with magic, dragons, spirits, and monsters, as well as ancient magical artifacts of immense power.
Anyway, the story of the book takes place when Samara and her hired help enter a vault that sits under the Great Iron Horse Mountain, as she looks for clues to the war's origin. Once there, her entire team is killed, leaving her to try and escape on her own, only to come face to face with an amazing weapon known only as the Skull Knight. This is issue 1 of a potential multi-issue series exploring Samara and her journey in trying to figure out who or what Skull Knight is, while also being pursued by deadly foes, hell-bent on either capturing or destroying the creature. As she is not only a woken Skull Knight, but also the long-sleeping old gods that survived the war who see the Skull Knight as a threat to their remaining power. The book itself will contain 50 pages of story with 10 pages of behind-the-scenes sketches, plus special guest art from some exceptionally talented artists and concept designers. All of it will be in full color. On top of that, also included in the base tier are some stickers and a special custom-made trading card featuring none other than the Skull Knight himself. If this sounds like a project for you, then vote with your dollar and back this campaign on Indiegogo. And also, feel free to spread the word via social media as well. Many thanks. I'm Fresher Luke, and thank you for considering Forsaken Gods. I hope to see you at the finish line.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, thank you.
So, first thing here is Forsaken Gods comic. In a fantasy world ravaged by war, a young woman must discover the secret behind the greatest weapon.
Yep, that's the one.
Now, Rick, I want to remind you after the fact that I have the ability to inject audio so that we can all hear it too, and you could have just full screened me.
Oh, okay. Well, were they able to hear it on YouTube, or do you know?
Oh no, I know the audience was able to hear it. I just figured, you
Yeah.
know, we could have been listening in too.
Yeah,
Oh, I heard it.
yeah, you heard it.
Did you guys hear it?
No.
No,
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry, my bad.
It's fine.
yeah, no. It's just Rick and I have been over this before, and he forgets.
Bullet here is here, and he says, "How fresh is this loot?"
Good question. Fresher than most, I would hope.
Well, with your icon, I'd say with your icon, you're not very fresh. You know. You see
I guess
what-
that's the joke, isn't it? Yeah, that's sort of the joke.
So yeah, it says here, 60-page full color comic book. You're looking
Yep.
at, and
Yep.
you are actually funded at this point, so anybody backing this will be getting it, of course. You know, so that's good. Let's see, currency.
Yep.
I'm gonna switch this to American since most people listening are American and not Canadian like me. So yeah, you've got $3,209 of the
Yep.
2,200 fixed goal, which is good. And you have
About
six.
$100 away from unlocking the first stretch goal. So, yeah.
Cool. We got Mallet here. Definitely says, I'm excited to get my comic book idea off the ground as I became inspired from the community to create my own.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, I saw Mallet's comment.
Metal, I have put messages for Rick for various people. Mallet says, Rick, I have made a redeem that allows people in my chat to redeem sketch cards in your stream. Oh, okay. Lovely.
Yeah.
That's
well, much like, well, actually, Evan hadn't done it while you were doing a talking with, but since all the things he posted in my Discord for some reason have absolutely nothing to do with the campaign we're talking about, or the guest, I'll reserve them for the end.
Oh, okay. Okay, so about the project. Forsaken Gods tells the story of a young woman named Samaria, an archaeologist, in a fantasy world called Epic Earth, filled with monsters, dragons, and magic. She's trying to find relics from a war that was waged between the gods. However, her expedition goes sideways, and she comes face to face with something she never anticipated.
That's what it says.
Yep. Yes, it is. I like to try and read those sort of things all dramatic like. I'm not sure how well I do, but I like to try.
Yeah, fair enough.
Amp up the audience for whatever project is on. So, yeah, I'll let you go over the characters.
Sure.
Talk about them.
Sure. Which one do you want to hear about first?
We got Samara up first here, so.
Well, yeah. So, as it's sort of explained before, Samara is she's a young woman. She lives in this world called Epic Earth, and she's an archaeologist, and being an archaeologist means you're like a forensic scientist. You're trying to figure out clues to the past based on very limited information and reconstructing things. And so her main goal is trying to figure out what started this war between the gods centuries ago and what the reasons were behind it. And in a way, it's sort of like her trying to figure out how to solve the current problems they're in right now, because a lot of the old tactics and weapons from the war are still kind of going around causing problems here and there. Things like dragons and magic, which has filled the world of Epic Earth as a result of the war. And yeah, she's a bit headstrong. She's a bit too, I guess, because she's young and sort of still just starting out. She tends to leap before she looks, and that sort of lands her in hot water a lot. And it's not until after the fact that she realizes that she kind of acted all like boneheaded about it and didn't really think things through before she went straight ahead. And yeah, she's got a lot of things going on in her life. She's got her only living relatives are her brother and her aging grandmother. And she's, the other reason why she's doing archaeology is that, she's trying to find artifacts to sort of show in her brother's museum that they're trying to keep afloat, to sort of bring in more museum goers and generate more money and just keep things going, because it was originally their parents' museum and they've died in the course of before we meet Samara in this first issue, and so in a way they're just trying to keep the memory of their parents alive through this museum that they're trying to keep going.
Cool. Does she have any powers or anything, or?
No, her only power is the power of deduction.
Cool. So
I'm guessing she's the character that grounds out the reality alongside or juxtaposed to the next character we're going to talk about.
Sort of, yeah. That's a very good question or good point you just made, Metal. Yeah, like because she's an archaeologist, that's sort of part of the mechanic. She's an entry point for the reader to sort of be introduced to this world. Even though she's sort of already lived in it, she's going to be finding out things, and when she finds out things, the audience is going to find out things. Hence the whole forensic detective kind of aspect of archaeology. Yeah.
So she'd be like almost Indiana Jones type or
Yeah,
relic hunter.
Yeah. No, there's a great comparisons. Yeah, definitely somewhere along those lines. Like someone who's trying to, I guess, figure out a puzzle or figure out a big mystery, so to say.
Uh-huh. And of course, up next is Skull Knight.
Yes. So as you can see, Skull Knight is a flaming skull encased in a giant piece of magical armor. And he is duty bound to follow Samara around everywhere she goes and to obey every command that she gives him. And that's because she's the one that inadvertently awoken Skull Knight. And as we know in folklore, like whoever releases or awakens whatever creature or entity is either trapped or locked in eternal slumber, they are then beholden to those individuals as a result. And
either that or they're trying to devour them.
Yeah, well, that's a good point as well. Yeah, and so Samara doesn't know this at first because the other thing about Skull Knight is that he can't actually talk; he can only scream, so he can't really communicate. And so Samara actually thinks that Skull Knight's trying to kill her, when in fact he's trying to save her as a result. And yeah, there's a lot of funny stuff like that in there as well.
Ah, screaming, flaming skeletons. It sounds like my sleep cycles.
Basically, yeah. It's the same as my sleep cycles, yeah.
So is there a big bad guy in this issue, or are we introduced to like a big bad guy that she's eventually gonna have to face, or?
No, I mean, what do you mean, like a mega boss or something, like a big boss?
Well, maybe, but like say Indiana Jones, although he didn't have one necessarily person, there was the Nazis and all that he had to face in one. Or
well, I mean, there were the Nazis, but there was an antagonist. It depends on which movie you're talking about.
Yeah, I think he's wondering if there's like a Moriarty behind this or anything like that.
Well, I mean, that's sort of a bigger question for more issues. This is only the first issue where Skull Knight and Samara meet. There's no real big bad, so to say, in this issue. As more issues are done and I do future campaigns. Well, theoretically, if I do future campaigns, then more of sort of that sort of stuff will be revealed through the.
Yeah, so it's kind of like at the beginning of, say, a manga or any story, you have like the character introduction period.
Yeah, an origin issue, basically. An origin issue, basically.
Well, I mean, technically, it's not an origin issue. It's more of a. I don't know how to describe it. It's the issue where Skull Knight and Samara first meet.
Yeah, it's the character introduction issue.
Yeah.
Well, what you said, exactly what you said, Metal. So, yeah.
Well, I mean more an origin and how they teamed up.
Right, but they have their own origins.
As individuals, they have their own origins.
Yeah.
Which would probably you'd probably learn more about them as characters as future issues go on.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's the origin of how they teamed up, and then you learn about them as you go through future issues.
Yeah, we got a few questions in the chat.
Okay. I have no idea what Dark Link's talking about. What is a bikini cowboy? I don't think that has anything to do with this.
Well, it does have something to do with me.
Oh, okay.
Sure, yeah, to answer that question that Eagle asked, Bikini Cowboy is a 380-page graphic novel that I drew and self-published a little while ago now. I finished drawing it about 10 years ago, and then I self-published it in I think it was 2012. It's the previous graphic novel that I had done before this.
Oh, okay. Cool. Arter Reed is here and says, "Hey, gang." King's Kids here. That's just my mom. She's in the other room on the computer. She comes
Okay.
in there.
Keeping an eye on you.
I ignore her sometimes in the chat.
All right.
And everybody likes to point out how rude Rick is to his mom.
Wow. How unchristian of you.
Oh, we get along good though. So.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see. What you get? 60 pages. Color
That's right,
cover. Interior or behind the scenes concept art. Pinups for special guests. Also, is this all done traditionally or digitally? The artwork.
A little bit of both. It's a bit of a hybrid. Yeah.
Risks and challenges. Here's some of the artwork. Like
Shadow of Machine says, whatever that thing is, it looks cool.
What thing?
I'm assuming Skull Knight.
Yeah, that's Skull Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad everyone really likes his design.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very simple, but like outrageous at the same time.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's sort of his whole shtick, I guess. Like, he's a simple character, but he's just the extremes of everything at the same time. Yeah, he's like this. That was exactly what I was aiming for with him. So yeah.
And this is
He's got a very simple personality, I guess, is probably a good way of putting it. He's very straightforward.
Kat says Luke's art is great. Yeah.
Thanks, Kat. Kat's a fan of mine.
Nah. Oh, that's
Oh, that means a lot too.
I think I
because
had her
Kat's
on-
a pretty good artist.
Yeah, she is pretty good. She was on my stream. I had her on a stream one time. So yeah, she's awesome.
She's been on this channel a few times too. Nice
Okay.
artwork here. Or have you got all the pink? How much of the book is done? Is it all drawn? Is it all colored?
Yeah, so I just today so stage 2 of the book is completely done, and stage 2 is like the tie down line work, the writing and the thumbnailing thing that we talked about earlier. So yeah, stage 2 is done. It's done for the whole book, and yeah, now all we got to do is just ink and clean up, which is stage 3, and then stage 4 is going to be color and lettering, and we'll be done. So I think it's going to get done soon.
Oh, that's good for sure. Shadow Machine says this stuff does look good.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted this to to really catch people's attention and catch their eye. So I tried to put the most coolest artwork that I had done so far.
I like that $350,000 stretch goal face reveal.
Yeah, because we know we'll never reach that. So.
Or a very, you can't say never, but very unlikely.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely going to say never at this point. We've
Well,
only got
at least you reached your goal. How fast did you get to it?
I think I got to it just before we reached the halfway point in the campaign, which was like 30 days. So I think I got there around day 22 or 25, something like that.
That's not
that's
too
pretty
bad.
good.
Yeah, that's not too bad, especially with just 2 tiers.
Well, yeah, this is the thing. This campaign has sort of changed. So the first 30 days of the campaign, the tiers are a lot different.
Okay.
I had like a special deal going on where it's like the same thing as these, but it was like $15 and $5 for the digital.
Okay.
And so after the 30 days, yeah, I bumped them up to this. Just because I was trying to generate interest and get people sort of on board with a good deal, because so I'm still generally unknown within most spaces or spheres, creative spheres these days. So yeah.
So feature perk is $22 US. Any idea what your shipping is?
I think it's like $5.
Oh, that's pretty cool, and that's for within the US.
Yeah. I'm only shipping this within the US. I'm not shipping it overseas.
Okay. And I guess I could only get the digital then, being here in Canada.
Yeah, I know. I've got like guys like Cat, people like Cat. Yeah, I apologize. I couldn't get you the physical book for some reason, even though we're neighbors. It seems almost impossible to get you guys comic books. So
Eagle says Luke is also the colorist. Yeah, you said that earlier.
yes, I did. Yes,
Yeah, he's the everything.
Okay.
I am the alpha and the omega.
Let's see. You get the digital plus for $22. You get the digital and physical, a book plus a sticker, trading card, which is good, and a digital desktop background. And you're going for December, I see.
Yep.
So that's good. What's grass? I forget. Oh, with doing some traditional. Did you think about a perk did you have a perk where you could have got some of the artwork, or?
Yeah, so the other thing about this campaign is the thing called add-on perks, which you can get when you buy the physical tier. And if you scroll down, that shows you all the different add-on perks that you can get, and 2 of those add-on perks are original art done for your specification.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, so you got the physical pencil sketch, and then you got the physical full color. And yeah, as long as it's nothing too crazy, like or inappropriate, then whatever you want drawn, I'll draw it for you.
Cool. Nice to see. Yeah, an original sketch art's $30 US. Acrylic standee is $17.
Yeah.
Original color art is $100, and then a variant trading card $2. I'm surprised none of those variant trading cards got claimed.
I think 1 or 2 of them got claimed.
Okay, just because it's not. Probably when you took the photograph or whatever. That's what.
Well, the thing was when you those aren't actually those are just placeholder images, because when you create the add-on perks, it won't upload them unless you place a photo or an image of some kind. So I just took art off of my server and just put it on there.
Yeah. No, I just mean because under these it says 2 and then it says 0 claim. I'm just saying when you took a screenshot of that, one was claimed and none was claimed. So I should have
whited that out. I should have whited that out.
Or you should have went to some Photoshop and make it look more popular than it actually was.
Yeah, maybe I should have. But that would have been just misleading, and I don't want to mislead my backers or any customers that way. I don't think that's a good way to build a healthy relationship with your customer base.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah, just a little free tip there.
And the other, of course, is you have the digital, which don't even need you get digital for that for anybody.
So digital you get everyone can get digital, so if you still want it, and plus you get a really cool digital desktop background, which is the image up the top where he's coming out of that green pit.
That one, right?
Yeah, that one.
Cool. Anybody out there got any questions, comments? Metal, any questions, comments?
Let me run back through this again. Because there's not a lot to cover on here.
Sure.
It's a very well designed campaign, because you actually do put a lot on here compared to quite a few of the other people that we've talked to.
Really? What are the others? What are the others put on?
The last one actually had quite a bit, but then the 2 before that,
Timothy's,
there's nothing on their pages.
Probably the worst one so far is Timothy.
Yeah, which he's been messaging me and I've been helping him here and there on making his thing better. Like he wanted to put up a new pre-launch page, and I helped him like reformat the wording that he was going to put on there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like the only thing that gets me is the order in which you decided to put things up.
Really?
Because you have all the information that's necessary. I just probably the very first thing would have been like either the characters or the introduction to the world itself.
See, I hear differing opinions on that. I hear some people that say that, and I hear some people that say I want to know what I'm getting first, and then after that, it's all just characters and all this other stuff. Like I don't want to scroll down.
Yeah.
Probably the
to then
thing
find out.
probably the first thing I would have put up was about the project, and then I think everything's pretty good.
Yeah, you'll get different opinions, but that's also probably why you got funded in the time that you did, because either way will eventually work for different people. It's just I'm going to fall in that half of the camp that prefers seeing the world first.
Well, you are. You're seeing an image right there. Of the world.
But overall, like you got all the necessary information. You know, I can see the characters.
Yep.
I see the information about the book. I see how many pages are in it. Cost, everything is great. Other than maybe expanding upon the world itself, right here, I don't really see too much to ask about.
Well, this is the shortest interview in the world.
I would like to learn a lot more about your world if you can put anything that doesn't spoil.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything specific you want to know about? I mean, I'll try to keep it as spoiler free as possible.
Maybe some of like the settings that we might see.
Man, you're trying to. Damn. Well, I mean, that's hard to answer because I both know, but I don't know where this is going to go, if that makes any sense.
No, it's kind of like a discovery process.
Sort of. It's like I know the general direction. It's just like what's going to happen on the way there is sort of half the fun. You know what I mean? Like there's always complications and surprises that arise during any great journey. You know what I mean? Be it through a story or as you're trying to make a story. If you had more general questions about the meta of the world or anything like that, I could definitely answer those.
Okay. I'm assuming, especially because you have a giant flaming skull attached to a suit of armor, that there's a lot of magic in the world.
Yeah, well, it's
very important to the mechanics of how the world works. How does magic operate in this world?
So, damn, I don't know how to answer that, but I'll try. So magic is sort of this thing that happened as a result of the war between the gods. It was sort of the byproduct, like say nuclear fallout, right?
Kind of like how Magicite is treated in the Final Fantasy series.
I guess so. I suppose so.
Yeah, it's kind of like a byproduct of things that people can harness and use for their own purposes.
Well, I mean, the thing you gotta understand is like the gods are obviously these. I mean, you see it in that image, the big splash page, where you got those giant guys duking it out, right? So they're these giant beings that, I guess, for lack of a better term, they sort of bend the laws of reality if they can through the ways that they do the things that they do. Yeah, like you got those two big guys who are like major gods, and one of them has magical green fire coming off his blade. What's that?
Oh, I was just going to say, good announcement. You have reached your first stretch goal.
Can we refresh that?
Yeah, it's up to 3,339.
Can I see? Can I see?
Can you see?
Hey, there we go! Woo!
Yeah, that's why I'm showing it on my screen too, because only us backstage get to see my screen. But then you can at least see the page if there's.
Sorry, I'm on a delay. It's like I'm trying to look at the chat at the same time. All right, well, we did it. We broke the first stretch goal. Hooray!
Yay!
Well, there's a
How did
question.
that happen? I'm still
on
are you 177 backwards?
You were at 176 earlier.
Oh, all right. Yeah, okay. Maybe I lost count. I guess somebody bought a bunch of stuff, so that's awesome.
Are you going in demand?
I think I will be. Yeah. The plan is I'll probably go in demand, hopefully till the end of September, and that'll be when I'm like finishing up the book and doing all the polish. And then I'll end in demand at the at the end of September, and then that's when I'll get all my numbers and then print it in October, and then November is when I'll ship it all out, and hopefully it'll get to you by December. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a few questions here in the chat. Bullet says,
There's a bunch.
Is Fresher Luke a big fan of Guardian Heroes on Sega Saturn?
I don't know because I never had a Sega Saturn. I apologize, but I am a friend. I am a fan of the Shadow.
Okay, so that answers the next question.
Yeah.
Shadow Machine says, "Congrats on reaching your first stretch goal."
Thank you.
Thank you. Which is how I knew because I saw that. Says Eagle says, also, does Fresher Luke know that Courage the Cowardly Dog is superior to Dexter's Laboratory?
Yes, I do know that. That is true.
Shadow of the Machine says, just don't leave the milk outside of the fridge and nothing will spoil. And he's wondering, is this a plane of existence or planet or very important differential?
Yes. No, that's a good question. So this is set in Epic Earth, which I guess is sort of my version of Middle Earth. So I don't know how you would describe it. I don't know if Middle Earth was Earth or a different world.
Well, Middle Earth was basically supposed to just be Europe, but it was treated like a realm in the classical sense.
Yeah, so that's probably a good way of putting it. Epic Earth is sort of like my own realm that I've sort of constructed with my own rules and my own sort of pantheon, so to say. And much like Final Fantasy, or much like, say, the Discworld novels, yeah.
Dillard Draws is here. I'm not sure whether you know who he is. He says, Fresher Luke, do you know the reputation of the channel you're on? Now comes the trolling.
I mean, look, you offered to have me on, and I was like, sounds cool. I don't really care about reputations of channels. Unless it's like, say, something in the extreme, like, say, a white supremacist channel or someone who's on the far left. Those are the only exceptions that I won't.
Yeah. He says,
not go on.
Did you know Rick Piper, which is me, colors over other people's art?
I didn't know that, no.
I mean, so does professional colorists, so...
Yeah, I mean, you got to do a little bit, but not a whole lot. You got to, try and preserve the line work as much as you can.
Eagles asked the question which I asked earlier, which you probably didn't hear. How much of the book is done?
So as I said before, I just announced that stage 2 line tie down is done for the whole book. So I'd probably say maybe 30 to 40% of the book is done, because I mean, it's hard to quantify because inking and coloring is relatively easy at this point. It's just a breeze. It's just elbow grease. So I'll probably get most of it done pretty soon. So we're on track to get it done, printed, and in your hands.
Yeah, and you shared a timeline already, so you're hoping to have it, in people's hands.
I tried to give myself enough sort of breathing room so I could not have to rush things, because a rush book doesn't look good, in my opinion. If you give yourself enough time just to make sure everything looks right, then people will appreciate it more.
Shadow of the Machine says, will there be a reference to the luggage?
No. When I said Discworld, I didn't mean that literally. I just meant it as an example.
And more of the trolling. Dillard, did you know Rick is a white national?
Yeah, we don't need to read that. Don't worry about that one.
He asked him about his thing up for stations. Hey, my main superhero, or one of my main superheroes, is a Native American. I'm not white national.
Yeah, Dillard gets away with this stuff because he does things for Rick all the time.
Okay.
In fact, it's kind of why Rick even has a computer good enough to stream in this capacity.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah. We allow good trolls here, and I know these guys are joking. You know, if somebody comes in, I know not joking about something like that, I wouldn't put up with it. But John knows I'll put up with it from him.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So, just to let you know, there are most comments like that in my chat are just about trolling.
Nice. Nice.
Because
So you can feel free not to answer this because it could be spoilers.
Sure.
But the gods you show are gigantic.
Yep.
Skull Knight is gigantic. I'm
not that
assuming at some point Skull Knight fights a god.
Well, yeah, that is a bit spoilery, isn't it? I will say that Skull Knight was built with a specific purpose in the war, and that was to destroy everything in his path. Whether or not he fights gods, you're gonna have to wait and find out. But one of the aspects of this series that I have planned is because Samara has awoken Skull Knight. After the war was done, all the remaining gods went back to their respective domains. But now that he's awoken, like centuries later, they've kind of, it's kind of awoken them as well because they see him as sort of like this threat to their remaining power because he's such a formidable piece of weaponry. And so as a result, they're going to be sending a lot of their remaining, I guess, monstrosities after him and Samara to try and stop him. And it's going to be a lot of crazy ass shit as a result. Like some really, I guess, horrifying, for lack of a better term. But all war machines are very horrifying. So yeah.
Yeah, especially the efficient ones.
Yeah, I mean, just the way they're made, it's like, they're made to look absolutely like indomitable. Like you just can't. Is someone checking their Twitter?
that would have been me.
Yeah, Rick is getting ready to dox some people.
Am I really that boring? You gotta check your Twitter.
I just when you two were talking, I don't know why I went over there.
All right.
Making sure
Does
nobody's
that
messaging
answer
me.
Yes, that suffices.
All right, thanks.
Shadow of the Machine says he looked like the machine powered by a skull.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of some of the themes I'm looking to, I guess, touch upon. Even though it's this very elegant piece of armor, in a way, it's kind of like a machine, which is sort of an analogy to the machines of war, and how we as humans, we tend to sort of, when we want to like create things of absolute destructive efficiency, we tend to they tend to take on or look like those characteristics, like very clean, very flat, not very organic at all. And yeah, I was trying to sort of capture that, but sort of more in a antique-ish way. I mean, you look at Skull Knight's shoulders, and they're like these two giant perfect spheres, right? Like, so they're very mathematical in a sense, but still not I guess intimidating enough where people would just be so turned off by him. Like, they're not like these giant cubes which have sharp points. It's sort of more rounded, so people are less, I guess the reader would be less intimidated by Skull Knight, because the other thing about Skull Knight is, even though he kind of destroys everything in his path, he's also very quite friendly. So but which I guess is sort of funny as well, because even though he's friendly, he's got like this incredibly menacing visage that he just can't help. So yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like the in the Iron Giant, how everybody's afraid of him except for his friend, just turned up to 11.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, a lot of people in the other streams I've been in, they've made that comparison, and that's fair enough. I understand that. Iron Giant was one of my favorite films, still is one of my favorite films, and yeah, no, I definitely, it was an influence. It's as is a lot of stuff that I've consumed through my time on this earth. So yeah, that's
Oh
fair
yeah,
enough.
you can't help but be influenced by the stuff you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even then, it's like Iron Giant. It the very basis or foundation of it is like a young boy befriending a giant creature, and sort of like the giant creature is sort of like the outside, and the young boy is sort of trying to integrate it into society in a way, trying to find ways to help it. But yeah, it's that old '80s movie trope in a way. I'm sure you could trace it back, to old fairy tales and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, there's tons of myths that could be put in with that.
Yeah. So, what's that? What do you want to ask?
I was just gonna say, I was just thinking, with all the fire or whatever emanating off his skull, can he project that in any way at things or people? The fire.
I guess you'll have to back the campaign, and maybe that'll show up in a future issue. Who knows?
Yeah. And we have a couple questions in the chat. Eagle wants to know how many factions were there in this war between the gods?
Good question. I haven't quite figured that out, but there are quite a few factions. Yeah.
Okay.
Because there is a whole pantheon of these guys. Yeah, and they've got children as well, and their children play a big role also. So yeah.
And Dillard says, I got a question for this fresher so-called Luke. What did you do during this campaign that you would not repeat?
I think probably the big one at this. I like quite a lot of things actually. Let me list them. So before the campaign launched, I did a email sign up launch page for it. Like, sign up with your emails and, be the first and all this other stuff to basically create this mailing list. The thing was, I didn't research it enough. And so when I tried to send out the emails to let everybody know that the campaign was going live, there's this thing in Gmail. I was using Gmail. There's this thing in Gmail where they will limit the number of emails you can send out to people to like 50 a day or something. And so that was a massive headache. And the other thing in relation to that was that I didn't really offer these people who signed up early any kind of special secret perk, which I'd found out about way too late. I think moving forward, if I was to try and use sort of like the mailing list sort of format for those dedicated customers, I'd probably do a bit more better research, but obviously, like, I started to almost instantly have my hands full trying to like manage and promote this campaign. So that's one. The other one was just the way I structured the rewards at the start of the campaign. I probably should have been a little bit smarter about that through various ways. If I'd been smarter, I probably would have made a little bit more money, and we probably could have got funded a lot sooner. But I just pegged that to sort of like, just hitting my head against the wall and just realizing not to do that, and that I'll hopefully do better next time.
Bullet says squares are intimidating. I'm writing that down. Eagle says, I like the conquistadors like helmets. Dillard saying he's got another.
Oh yeah, that's just a sketch. That's not canon or anything. I just put that in there.
But you should totally keep it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like there's no places like Spain or America or Europe of any kind. It's more like, their own individual. So I guess, yeah, maybe I could actually, if I think.
Yeah, I mean, you could just attribute to any individual society in your realm.
Yeah. All right. I'll give it. I'll think that over.
Dillard says, being an artistic dynamo with many devoted fans, why do you think more of them didn't show up and show out?
What does he mean by show out?
I think probably, buy.
Oh, as in show up to buy it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you made your goal, so.
Well, I think what he's saying is because my follower count is like 1,700 something now, 723, I think, because, 3 or 4 people leave when they realize that I'm not a far left BLM supporter, who, believes in equality for everybody. I think what he means is because I've got those numbers of followers, like, why didn't those numbers immediately, one for one transfer over to this campaign? I think that partly has to do with the algorithm on Twitter and just the white noise that is the internet. Like, I'm sure once this campaign is over, the people who didn't get the memo, so to say, because Twitter wouldn't give it to them, are going to show up and say, "Oh, I didn't even know this was going on. I would have backed this."
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else to do. Like, the algorithms on Twitter and Instagram are I really hate them. They're really bad because I can't.
Yeah, I mean, the only way you can really get things done is to make sure you've got like some type of catchy and unique hashtag you can attach to everything.
Yeah, I mean, well, I made the Forsaken Gods hashtag, but that didn't really seem to catch on. So I don't know how. I mean, I guess I'm a boomer in this way because I don't really know how to effectively create hashtags that are gonna get populated in the algorithm. So I got no clue. I'm a novice when it comes to this.
Well, then, were you attaching all the other regular ones like hashtag indie comics and stuff like that as well?
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't do that enough, so maybe that's probably the reason. So I only limit you to like 250 characters, so it's like I got to try and realize where the best real estate is for that kind of stuff, because even hashtags take up that character.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to get better at that. I'm not very good at it. So yeah.
At least they kind of removed links from the character count these days.
I guess so. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Shadow of the Machine asked, what has been your favorite process in the creation of this comic so far?
I mean, I love every part of it. I guess writing and creating the story, because it's like I can do whatever I want. I don't have to answer to anybody. You know what I mean? It's like if I want Skull Knight to put a couple of knives or a couple of swords in each hand and start rotating his body in a super fast fashion, so it becomes like this death helicopter, then I can do that. And he can slice up whole armies. I can do that. Yeah, I think writing and creating the story first. Everything else after that is kind of like, I guess. I mean, look, yeah, that's a tough one because I enjoy making stuff look good and coloring it and just really finishing stuff off and making it look top notch. Yeah, that's a hard one because I love every aspect of it for different reasons. So.
Eagle asks, what is the level of technology in this story?
It is medieval, but that comes with a caveat because there is supposedly more advanced technology, but that's sort of in quotation marks because it's not really technology; it's magic. But it's so. I guess it's so intertwined with things like Skull Knight's the best example. It's so intertwined with sort of like mechanical looking things that it almost looks like a super advanced form of technology when it's really not, if that makes any sense.
So it's a magically enhanced medieval technology.
Sort of, yeah. It's like, I don't think they're quite up to the stage where it's like Steam. Well, the thing is, it's like, there's sort of these two worlds. You've got the gods who are like these amazing craftspeople and artisans because they have sort of like this omniscient knowledge, so to say. Like, they can sort of see the wheels of chaos and see how they turn and interlock. But then you've got the land of the mortals, and they're just kind of like, they're on horseback and they wear armor and they have swords and bows and arrows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably kind of like how ancient people thought the future would look, kind of like how we have weird ideas of the future. Because if you go back, you could see them talking about like iron golems and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's sort of what I'm tapping into. It's like, yeah, what? Oh, go ahead. What's that?
I was going to suggest the mortal people have, like you said, evil technology, but the gods, who knows how far their technology is. So
Well, it's like, I mean, it's not technology that you and I would consider being technology, right? It's like they don't have like cars and like planes or anything like that, or iPhones. They've got crystal balls that they use to communicate with each other over long distances. They have they have these axes that are made of fire, so to say, you know what I mean, or an axe that's made of ice, and anything it touches turns to ice. And they have these other knights that they've created as well that they're going to be sending to kill Skull Knight. And those all have different properties also. So it's like, yeah, I don't know how else to describe it. It's like that's
well,
probably
one of the problems too is people's idea of what the word technology means, right? Because when people ask that question, they're thinking of very specific things. But when you think about it, technology is just any type of incremental improvement built on the past. So like language is a form of technology, or even just making a spear is a form of technology.
Right, but I mean, like, those things are made through logic, right? Like, and they've been iterated on over the centuries, so to say. Like, the current automobile is, the iteration of the horse and buggy. And there we go. We're in YouTube Studio. Awesome.
But you can also think, if you had access to magic, what type of iterations or advancements would you make with that magic over time, right?
Well, I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? Because the idea of magic is that you don't really need to iterate it, because magic is sort of limitless. Like the sky's the limit in regards to what your mind could come up with, what it could do. So you can only. The best that I could have done with this is sort of limit it to different sorts of properties, like the elements and stuff like that, and singular traits. Like a good example is King Midas. He was granted the ability to turn whatever he touched into gold, and that was about it, right? He couldn't really use that ability to do anything else. But it was a sort of a story about being greedy, and how being greedy will destroy you in the end. So yeah, that's sort of my sort of, I guess, the best example I can give in regards to, say, a rule set for this kind of stuff. But yeah, having said that, I'm sure I'll break that rule set.
Yeah, I mean, you never have to reveal your rules to the audience, but it is important that you have the rules for yourself. You make a more structured world that way, that feels organic.
Yeah.
And Pollock was asking, and I'm not sure if you've answered this, is this more steampunk or China punk? I'm not sure.
Neither. Magic punk, I guess.
Kat asks whether you've been on Doug Naples' show yet.
Yeah, I have been on a couple of times, yeah. He's been very kind to invite me on, so I appreciate that.
Bullet says, Machincio Vitra from Cadillacs and Dinosaurs?
I don't know what Cadillacs and Dinosaurs... I know of Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, never read Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, so I don't know what he's referring to in that regard.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a good book. Hopefully... Well, you're going into man. I'll probably get the only one I can.
Well, actually, I just got a message on Twitter that it was actually 3D Zach who refunded his initial pledge, and then he got the new pledge, which is what got us over the first stretch goal. So,
cool.
Yeah. So thanks 3D Zach. Everybody gets 4 more pages now, which is awesome.
Yay! Let's see.
Gotta figure out what to fill those 4 pages with.
Story or X, just behind the scenes stuff. Shadow Machine says, so you can only get so far before you need to use magic tech in order to utilize more power.
No, I think it's more along the lines of... I mean, like, look, the idea of, say, a stopwatch, right, is all these different gears inside of it, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that takes a certain level of sort of mechanical know-how. The thing that I guess I'm trying to get across is that it's sort of like a fuzzy logic version of that, but with magic, so to say. So, maybe a great example, and maybe Shadow of Machines is actually correct in this sense. You'll have these power sources like steam powered and stuff like that, but because the gods are the gods, and they're like, oh, why do I need to worry about inventing something like that when they can just put, say, an infinite fire inside of, say, this furnace and just have it burn ad infinitum, do whatever it is that they need to do.
Yeah, that's kind of along the lines of what I was thinking, the way you were describing things.
And so, only the gods and, say, a select few sorcerers or so forth can actually do that. And actually, this touches on a thing that I'm actually that's going to be a big thing about the plot. Feel much about it because it's an important plot line, but just this idea of, how are the gods coming up with this stuff? How are they making this stuff? Are they really as powerful as everyone thinks they are, or are they just trying to, I guess, convince everybody that they're powerful, and sort of how belief plays into that as well? So we're sort of getting into spoilery territory. So that's as much as I'm going to say.
Okay, Dylan asks, he's got a question. How can you understand Rick with his terrible audio? Well, I don't think it's so terrible behind the scenes. It's more terrible on
It's
YouTube.
actually, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty tin canny as always.
Yeah.
I told you, Rick, when you're not on screen, right, with your webcam pointing at you, that you should really just pull it closer to you because you sound clearer when you're closer to the webcam.
Well, I just did that just before you said that.
Maybe get like a Logitech headset, man. That really helps. Like, they're like super cheap. They're like $16. And really good audio quality.
Nothing for you there. Shadow Machines. This sounds like a lot of fun. I have to get the comic to find out more. Well, that's a good thing. Dylan has a question for me. Why are you ignoring Pope Raven's DM demanding an explanation of why you colored over his colors? Because I'm on this and I haven't seen any DMs from him yet. And Shadow says, are you talking in a tin can, Rick? No, I'm not.
Cool. Well, I mean, is that everything? Have we covered everything?
Well, unless anybody's got any more questions or whatever. And you, of
I think
course...
I've answered the most.
Yeah, other than getting into spoiler territory, there's probably not much more we can ask about your world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just questions, I don't know, in general questions. Who's your favorite superhero?
Oh, dang.
Or what's your favorite comic book?
I know. No, wait. I know who my favorite superhero is. It's Italian Spider-Man.
Italian Spider-Man?
Yeah, go on YouTube. Look him up. He's there.
Okay. I will do that. Favorite villain?
Ted Danson is my favorite villain.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Usually I go to 12, but you can hang out if we're done. I'm not sure whether we're done. Has anybody else got anything out there they want to ask him about whatever? Either towards the campaign or...
it's been an hour, so...
You want to take off? That's a...
how long do you do this for?
Well, I usually go 2 hours, whether we talk fully about the comics or...
I just came off another stream, so I think my mental energy is pretty much spent at this point. Okay, at this point, I usually start to yawn and want to take a nice little nap and go to bed. But
yeah, that's good if you want to. as I don't have anything else that I can think of to ask at the moment. Melo?
No, I'm good. Like I said, your campaign kind of sells itself for the most part, and
Awesome.
I learned just
that was
about
the point.
everything I needed to.
Thank you. No, that was good. That's good. I'm glad my campaign sort of like it's so well received. I mean, because I tried to fund it. I tried to fund Forsaken Gods, I think last year, and it fell flat because my campaign back then my campaign game wasn't very strong. So it's good that it means that I've made progress and that I've learned some things and that I'm applying those lessons.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so
Well,
everybody say goodbye to Fresher Luke.
yeah.
Goodbye. Hey, it was nice.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Yeah,
on.
nice meeting you guys as well.
If you ever buy in the chat and want to come on, just say so.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate you doing this, and I appreciate you helping me promote Forsaken Gods. And I hope your campaigns do really well also.
Yeah, thank you very much. And see you around.
All right.
Have a good night.
All right. You too. Thanks, guys.
And now it is just you and I.
Yeah. Not with much.
And I guess everyone in chat.
Christopher says to Dillard. Dillard says he sent a package to Chris today for the double-page spread. And he says to that, scary thing, Rick has my email, and you know where I live now. Well, trust me, I won't be giving out your email to anybody, and I won't be giving out your address. He took off. We pretty much exhausted, I think, everything, so he wanted to go grab some sleep or relax. I did not boot him off early.
He just didn't stranglehold him into staying around.
Yeah. But I'm not sure who saw these earlier.
Okay, well, we did have some apparently out-of-stream questions. The ones that we're holding to the end.
Okay.
So we can catch up on those now. Mallet asked, or said, Evan told Raggedy to tell you that the mummy is offensive. I don't know what that's referring to.
Probably
and
yes.
We need to know the coloring book status. Which is nearly ready. I could actually probably slap the PDF together tonight.
Christopher said, looked like a good book. He backed a couple weeks ago. That's good. Model asked, Metal, please ask Rick, is there a chance that Luke will replace you as co-host?
One could only wish.
So I got.
And Evan wanted to know why you kicked Fresher Luke off. So he's just in the same boat as everybody else.
Well, here is the Canadian Shield Mummy fan version card that everybody that got a physical tier will be getting with their thing. All ready to go. And of course, here's Canadian Shield Chan, Elric's version. So I got those. I have got for those that did not see the update earlier today, I've got the comics paid for and they're off to the printer. So there's some good news that way. Kat says, what's your medal? What's your end game?
I'm not entirely sure yet.
And Dillard wants to make sure Christopher lets him know the condition it shows up. The glass is quite thin. Christopher says, maple leaf cleavage. I'm not sure what to do now. This throws me off my game when somebody leaves early. Especially nothing else from Evan, I guess. Christopher's like, glass.
No, he was just complaining that I didn't read all the questions, but that's because you started answering other questions from the chat in the middle of it.
Well, you don't know. Okay, what are all the questions then?
No, I did ask the last one.
Oh, okay.
He was just asking about Fresher Luke like everyone else.
And, hey, Topher's here. Dylan says, be a YouTuber, Rick, damn it.
Yeah, Evan says to tell Rick he didn't leave, he was kicked off. No, I'm pretty sure he left. The words from his own mouth.
So, well, we thought we got him up to over the mark, but I guess we didn't. It would have been nice that it was due to us, but he found out it was due to somebody else, so. Oh well. Dillard's hashtag Medal of the Liar.
Yeah, Evan says stop kicking off your guests. I can't actually think of a time that you kicked off a guest, at least while I've been on.
I don't think I've ever kicked off a guest.
Yeah. Though, technically with Meet instead of Hangouts, you have the option to kick guests off.
Yeah. Let's see. Eagle says do sketch cards, Rick. I'd say that I'll do those tomorrow, but I won't be doing my Twitch stream tomorrow. I'm helping my cousin move tomorrow, so I'm not even sure whether I'm going to be doing After Dark tomorrow, depending on what time I get done and home.
So that sounds like more of an argument to work on them now.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be for a Twitch stream, doing the sketch cards, although I do need to really catch up on them because there's quite a few.
Yeah, did you say before that you're probably going to have to start doing them off of Twitch just to catch up?
Well, I gotta do more Twitch streams just to catch up, although I'm not sure how that will work. Although I think I gave out too many based on what I thought things were for Twitch for whatchamacallit? How much I got per month or whatever from subscribers. Or the subscribe. Art of Read says cross comment buttons. Dillet says, Rick, why don't you do right? You know, like other men do. What do you mean by right? Watching Shadow says, watching those waves go down your screen is frustrating. Something is not quite syncing up right. cross-cut and tape pillows. Nah, I don't think so, Christopher. Shadow laughs at Dillard's comment. Is there streams going down? I don't see them.
Yeah, you've got like a VSync thing going down.
Okay, I don't even sure how to stop that. But like I said, I do have to help my niece move, so maybe I will end a little early tonight. I gotta get up early and make sure I'm up early.
Oh, I was up early today. Like, way earlier than I normally am.
So, yeah, and the comics are expected in next Monday, so I will, whatever time of day that they come in, I will do a live stream. Yes, and there are always lines going down the screen. Just wondering what's behind the door. My closet.
Narnia.
This is, and so we just gotta wait on the comics come in and the artwork from the Buckler from Dillard. The stream that night when they come in, we'll probably be doing a raffle. Model says, I hope Luke comes back on the show. He was a good guess. Well, we're next week we will be interviewing. Who will we be interviewing?
I don't know. You sent me all the people. Let me go through the list.
Yeah, and I got a new one for the week after, Deltaverse.
Oh, did somebody cancel on you?
No, not next week. The week after.
Oh, I know, because you only had 3 lined up. It was Hexcraft Mechanics #2 was the campaign.
Yeah,
and the runner is Nathan Masters.
Yeah. So hopefully we can have him on and get him up. And Deltaverse, it was in 2 weeks. Alex Garcia for Johnny's Law. And Christopher, is it full of skeletons? Nope, just clothes, another junk.
No, the only skeleton-related thing in your room is actually out on display most of the time.
Yes. Right here. And I'm trying to get some other people out for stuff, but I have yet to hear back from them. Oh, I messaged somebody from SOS Volume 2 graphic novel. And Undead Border, Escape or Die. Another one? I don't know.
Evan says, did Rick scan the cards? Show Doraleus. I think that was that show that Eagle was sending us.
No, I haven't.
And Neebs and the Metal Saga quick.
Okay. I wonder which. That's not. This is the one I'm sharing. Invalid page. You're showing it and putting an invalid page up there, Mom. I'll just remove that comment. So, yes, I have merch, Christopher. There is Cross Comics merch out there, t-shirts. There it is.
Yeah, Evan says, I better see a Zephyr Blade. I swear if it looks like a wand, I'm going to riot. Well, how would anybody tell if you're rioting if, like, every place is already rioting as it is? You just blend into the crowd.
Christopher says, laugh out loud. How could anyone hate being on a stream? Rick has a very soft touch interview style.
Soft touch, almost like no touch.
At least my first few questions were actually not too bad tonight. I'm slowly getting ideas or whatever. They're coming to me of stuff to ask. You know, there were decent questions at first. Well, I think the first one was a little weird. Whatever, and then... Well, especially when I said what got him into comics, it was just... wasn't the best answer. I had to ask something else to hear the expansion of it.
Well, you could tell he was tired before he even got on to the stream.
Yeah, that's alright, you know. It's good that he came on. Hopefully, Rick, did you time out your mom? No, I did not time out my mom. I just deleted the comment of my Indiegogo because I'm not sure where she got it from, but it didn't work because I did not put my Indiegogo. I took my Indiegogo from the thing tonight because it's not in demand anymore. So, hey, Rebel, how are you? Mom, you can type in the chat to show these people I didn't tell you out.
I don't know, man. I don't see any proof yet.
You are must. Okay, you definitely need to type in the chat, Mom, to prove you aren't timed out. Maybe I should time out.
This is the point where your mom gets you back by just not typing in the chat.
That's if she's even listening. See, she needs to actually be listening to hear me say about typing in the chat. Rick, you are on fire today. I am. It doesn't look on fire. But my shirt has got lava exploding.
Yes, Kat asked if I'm going to make it in time for the manga contest, and I definitely should. As long as I finish the page I'm working on tonight, yeah, I'll finish.
Are you on your last page?
No, I'm on like the last 3 pages.
Okay.
Maybe 4 if I have to add another one to wrap it up, but I've been finishing it a page a night, so I should be fine.
Christopher C. says, hell yeah, I got my copy of Niobe #1 and the Canadian Shield is coming. What a week! Yes. Yeah, it should be less than a month for anybody for the Canadian Shield. Well, as long as, you know, the mail service is half decent. And I was like, oh, sweet brother, I hope you dig it, yeah. First Pip Raven. Now you're a mother. Yeah, just because I went over some of the art to well, I think for the most part, spruced up a little of Pope Raven's coloring to make it not so, some of it so bland. Did a good job, and I'm very happy, and I hope to give some money for that. Christopher says, great thrump. UPS is never coming. Yeah, and Christopher's getting his art. Actually, probably the only thing. Yeah, I got lots of stuff coming in the next week and a half.
Evan says, I can't see the cards. Did he show them?
Yes, it shows them. Yeah, I'll show them outside of the package.
Well, to be fair, I don't even know if Evan's looking. He might only be listening. Oh, I don't even know if those are the cards he's talking about. I think he wanted to see the sketch cards. Yeah, he even says, no, wrong cards.
The price you promised was $200 American. That if it was fulfilled to $2,000. So you owe him $200 regardless. Evan is always listening. Especially after you improve his comments. Yeah, well. Things actually are costing a little bit more money than I expected for some things. But I'm going to have enough money to fulfill, so. Talk, Rick, says Rebel. The mummy is upside down. I flipped it right side up. Christopher says that mummy is racist. I don't know why the mummy's racist. And I'm not sure whether I said I promise 200 American. I think I said I'm going to try. Or I want to, or whatever. Still it's hashtag justice for operator. Oh yeah, and next week, next Tuesday, we start High Dude again. So that is good.
Yeah, Evan says that he wants you to show Doraleus and the Zephyr Blade because you said you would scan them and show them last week.
Oh, I did? I haven't got around. Yeah. There's a Timbit turning into a robot. There's Metal getting mad because of no Timbits. Oh, I think that's the one he was wanting. Christopher says, the best part of Cross Comics interviews, uncomfortable silence. Rebel says, I stand with Tyler. Kat just asked about any updates on the coloring book to Dillard. And there's Neebs in their Wonder Broom. That's Neebs. That's the guy that showed up when I typed in Neebs.
Evan says these are none of the cards I asked for.
Okay. I don't think I got to the guy in the zipper blade. Who was it in the zipper blade?
Doraleus is what he was saying.
Isn't that Doraleus? And the zipper blade?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I still haven't watched the thing. I have it bookmarked. I've just been busy. He says, now tell him to draw Mirdon. Rick, no, I asked for the Zephyr Blade, not a stick.
The zipper blade is a stick in that. It's a zipper stick. Cat says, Rick, it's a zipper biscuit. Rebel says he's got to get back to work. Get on Niobe Gun Road Kickstarter in 3 weeks. Have a good on, Rick. Okay, you too, Rebel. Catch you later. Bye for now. Open. So anybody got anything they want to talk about out there?
I think they're just going to keep asking you to do things with the sketch cards.
Yeah. I'll try and do an extra stream on it. Oh no. I'm talking to EA Crystal on Wednesday at noon. Getting things moving on the Canadian Shield number 2. So.
He asked if you showed panel 48.
I don't even know what panel 40
and wants to
is.
know, how many of the 33 sketch cards did you finish?
None. Next time will be Thursday at this point, unless I do something. Wednesday afternoon, after I talk with, can I get you to clean the lenses on your glasses? Yeah.
Man, Evan's being pushy. He's like, we redeemed those 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that was Thursday, last Thursday. Thank you very much. Models Thursday gone. The chat is a lot more interesting when I remember. No one knows who I am. Says Shadow of Machines. I wonder if Shadow of Machines is Evan. Cat says I also saw a yawn. Christopher says, there you go. Now we can see your pretty eyes.
He says panel 48 is the character Metal with an oversized blade resting on his shoulder. I forgot the rest of the details, and that's Rick's fault. I requested that last month.
Liar! Liar, liar, pent of fire! Shadow Machine says, me? Evan? Nah. Shadow Machines, are you a regular here under a different name? Although, because it makes it sound like it. No, not here, no. But I tend to pop on various platforms. There are 39 individual pieces of art coming to you, Rick. Is that separate from the 9? Christopher says, oversized blade sounds like someone is overcompensating for something. Oh, 3 people will be getting full pages. I guess those are the last 3 to be, quote-unquote, auctioned off.
Also, Rick, if you need a reference picture, it is actually not hard to find a picture of me holding a blade over my shoulder on the internet.
It says no, 9 are included. Okay, so there's going to be 30 other pieces to raffle off, or to however you want to say it. Wouldn't it be funny to do that? Or do the randomizer thing with nobody knowing what pieces of art they're getting? I just call it piece 1, piece 2, piece 3.
Nobody has to know what piece of art they're getting.
But then again, I don't know how much you divide it. Well, I know there's 30 pieces, so. How many backers in total? Well, there are 80 backers in total, although some of those, I believe, canceled and got another piece. So, technically they'd have 2 numbers. And some are digital, so those people don't count. And some are just donations, so those don't count either. So we're probably looking at 60 people. Approximately. Or technically less, maybe a little less than 60. Somewhere between 55 and 60. Should I take you and your wife out of the backer stuff? The numbers? John? Yeah, John wins his own art. That'd be funny. So about 20 people will get bupkis. Yeah. Absolutely not. Don't take you and your wife out. Okay. You want to win your own heart? I pay for the book the same as everyone else. I just think it'll be funny. John wins his own heart. Christopher says, can't wait until Rick put his book up on Amazon. The promotional tour will be glorious. Is the figure assembled and painted? What, for Christopher? Well, first of all, it doesn't need to be painted. I'm not sure whether it's assembled yet. George is going to be assembling it, he said, so. So he's just, I'm not sure what's happening for the printing and that. That might end up coming separate, but Christopher will get it. You should let Christopher paint it. You don't need him to paint it because each of the pieces are going to be colored the correct color.
Well, he can still paint it if he wants to.
Yeah, technically, you know. But, you know, the glove is going to come instead of in gray. Instead of the whole thing coming in gray like it came from me, it's going to come in red and white, and while the base will be in gray. What about the eyes? I'm not sure. Customer says, why am I doing work? I'm a lazy junkie. I think I didn't take the eyes out on mine, but I think they can come out. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Some of the pieces are harder to get out than others. And the emblem on the chest. Oh, the emblem on the chest came out. I painted each of those pieces. Did Metal relay my messages?
Yes, I did. At the beginning of the session after the guest left.
And he says, thank you. And Fly Fox is here. Hey, Fly Fox, how are you?
Yeah, I actually had that chat log on the Discord just pulled up off to the side, waiting the entire time.
Well, I hear you got $10 for me. Good news. I'm not sure whether did you see the update earlier, Fly Fox, on the campaign or Twitter? Twitch says, what I gotta do to get that $10? No button stuff. John, that project is done and ready to ship. Sorry. Well, if you didn't see it, Fly Fox, There is one of the fan art cards, fan art versions from Heaven Hotep, Canadian Shield Mummy. Hello, Mummy.
That
How
is
are
apparently
you?
racist.
And Canadian Shield 10. And Fly Fox, also the Canadian Shield comics have been ordered. I should be getting them next Monday. And also, what else should be coming next month? As soon as I get the artwork from John, which he's already sent, he sent that today. Hopefully I get it by next Monday or just after. We'll be doing a giveaway for some artwork. Come with stuff. Mount says the Canadian Hornet. And then after that, we will be sending all the everything out.
And the gift card is sexist, but the mummy stole the show, according to Christopher C.
Well, I can't be blamed.
Rick, you gotta be careful. You're in Canada. You could be thrown in jail for sexist acts.
Hey, I can't. It's Elric. He made it. And Evan is to blame for the Canadian Shield mummy, so I guess he's the racist one. And Mallet says he has a new idea for my redeems on Twitch. Don't Twitch. What is your idea, Malik? Every 500 points you do push-ups. No.
It's really easy to come by 500 points. I feel like your whole stream would just become you doing push-ups.
Yeah.
You'd get in really good shape, though.
Yeah. Christopher says, wait, I've been to a Canadian house. Why wouldn't he be thrown in jail? It doesn't cost you anything. Hey, today I walked in the blistering heat from my place to the place where I picked up the cards, got them printed up. That was like an hour's walk. Mallet says, damn it, Metal! Bullet says, or you could start an OnlyFans, Rick doing topless pics and gift cards.
Hey, I'm not saying I disagree with Mallet's idea. You would get in really good shape.
Why is it not cold? It should be. It's like lukewarm.
Evan says to tell Rick to tell Mallet that we need to start the Fresher Luke saga. Though I don't think Mallet wants to start any saga until the Metal saga is over.
Yeah. But he wouldn't do them right away. Do what right away? The push-ups?
No, you want to do push-ups the right way.
And what is the right way?
Proper form.
So real talk, right? Are you seriously going to stop the printing and do it right? I don't think it would be. If I did it with the plainness of Pope Ravens, I wouldn't like it. I'm not going to stop the printing because it's not 100%. You know, like that one panel I accidentally have some birds on somebody's face, but people might pass that off. You can't really tell, I think, in the smallness. No, Pope Raven did 90% of the coloring. I beefed up the backgrounds a little bit. And I'll put something in behind, for the most part, in behind or whatever to give some, as far as I say, life to some more stuff to it. Heck, there was a couple things I added, a couple more trees because I felt it needed more trees. I copied and pasted trees that were already there. What are those emojis? I'm not sure. I'm amused, I think. I don't even know what those emojis are. Trying to find out, but doesn't want to tell me.
Oh, he's kind of giving you like a raised eyebrow, like it's tweezed, just over and over again.
Oh.
Probably saying he's not satisfied with your answer.
Reed says he doesn't understand any of this Raven nonsense. Yeah. But you can't tell me, John, that. Yeah, there's Pope Ravens. Oh, here. Yeah, I'm focused on me. There's Pope Ravens coloring. It's good. It's all right. But you can't tell me that doesn't look a bit better. Or even if you take the lettering out, because the lettering is different. George redid the lettering. Which one is with the bricks in there, that doesn't look better, and the yellow gradient doesn't look a little bit better than the flat blue. Which I think that is, I just extended something that he did elsewhere. I don't think I did anything to this page. Page 3 at all. No. Yes, he is, Christopher. He is thick. I don't think I did much to that page either. I put up, maybe some tufts of grass there. Give it a little bit more definition. And this one, again, it's just making it look a little bit more dynamic. Got enough. Actually, it's Clip Studio, and it was just, it's all Pope Raven's versions, and then what I did to them. Just to make things look, I think, a little better. You can. I'm trying to give the best product I can, John. That's the point. And yeah, some things aren't the best. I have to make that decision as a quote-unquote editor or person in charge.
Raggedy says this is the second church door all over again.
Okay, I have no idea what that means. Any chance of the Canadian Shield cape and cowl making it to the merch store? Maybe eventually, somehow. Somehow, I'm not sure how though, Christopher. Says I could use some riot gear. I'm sure all the decisions like this, unfortunately, are made at DC and Marvel all the time, too. On any, probably, comic company.
No, typically somebody else doesn't go and touch it up. They just send it back to the colorist.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that. Maybe I should have put more trees in. But in a lot of ways, it was hard enough getting all this artwork off of Pope Raven. The coloring. So. And then it was hard getting together with Pope Raven. I tried getting together with Pope Raven several times saying, can we get together so we can talk and go over stuff? Because it's a lot easier to say stuff or point out stuff in Hangouts than it is just writing stuff down. No, they shouldn't know, but Christopher, if I'm asking to get together with somebody so I can tell them what I want, and we're not getting together for whatever reason, and it's not that you're not getting Pope Raven's coloring. Pope Raven did the basis of this, probably 90% of it, maybe 95% of it. What's wrong with this page? Is this mine or... I don't think I... Well, the only thing that I think I did here was...
Is this the page you added shadows to the tree? Because I remember watching you add shadows to trees on one page.
Oh. I'm not sure. You know, here I put the shield emblem on the chest. That's probably my fault because I probably didn't draw it on. Or hers. And I colored the belt buckle darker.
Christopher says, honestly, I think you should go Mariah Carey on all your folks. I have no idea what that means.
Me neither, you know. Well, I think also I put some of the blue.
I mean, I know she sings well. Is it because she has a reputation for being a horrible person?
Yeah, I put some lines on the ground to try and give some more definition to the snow. She is a lunatic. Other than that, I didn't change. I'd say anything on this
Okay,
page.
so this wasn't the page that you're adding shadows to the trees.
No. And here on this page, I know I put the maple leaf in these things, and I've changed Messenger's color to white, which it's supposed to be, and I think I changed the aura around him to be multicolored. And I added probably some shadows on different people, maybe a tree. Oh, and I put a little bit of light in the background. I added some lines on the ground. Some shading. And I think Canadian. But it is 12:04, so you want to
Do my thing.
Yeah, let me put it on you.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna say the same thing I always do. If people want to check out the stuff I'm working on, they can always go to xdynamuschaos.com. I actually had the link written wrong the last few times. For some reason, I put a www dot, but there is no www dot in front of it. It's just http, S is optional, / xdynamuschaos.com, where I put up a bunch of free stuff that you can engage in. And I'm almost done with that manga. As I finish it, everything is up there on the site. So, you can just read a bunch of free stuff.
I have no idea what yellow streaks you're talking about. Oh, probably supposed to be sunlight or whatever. So yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming by, watching the stream. Thank everybody for coming on the panel, which is Metal, and of course Fresher Luke for his Indiegogo. So go check that stuff, his thing out, and if you can afford it, make a purchase, and if you like it, and if not, maybe just shut it out, let people know about it. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can at least pick up the digital while it's still running, because it does look like a really good book.
Yeah. So we'll catch you all later. Bye for now. God bless. Have a great night.